What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Mordheim, City of the Damned. My name is Splattercat, stoked to have you here today as we hang out for a little while and continue to play this very, very entertaining little Warhammer fantasy game. In today's episode, we're probably just going to do another combat, in all honesty, but we need to put some points into people because they're just now starting. I know, I'm talking about putting things in people, and it's only like the first 35 seconds of the episode. I understand. It's going to be okay, though. I should probably work on his agility since he's rocking a two-hander. Being dodgy would be really, really helpful for him. His alertness is okay. Let's take his leadership up by... What was I working towards with his alertness? I don't know if I was working towards anything with his alertness. Take his leadership up slightly so that we can weather the storm better than we could before. Each of our characters, if you recall, at the beginning of the game, they were only worth like 98 points. Now our guys are sitting up worth about 130. They're getting more and more valuable. We're starting to get towards that point in our Blood Bowl season where our characters are becoming major, major liabilities for the enemy, and if they die, it's going to leave us in kind of a really shitty situation, too. I would like for you, sir, to deal more damage, since you're going to be parry-spec'd anyways. It's unfortunate that I put so many points into dodge, but I'm sorry, into agility, but it can't be helped. I'll probably go a little bit more intelligence right there for the stun resist. That puts him up to 20% stun resist, which is not bad. I can go with a little bit more HP. That'll give him 4 HP. That's not bad. Yeah, let's go with that. That'll work. Apply the changes, and on this side we had to give... Let's go a little bit further in on stun resist. I tend to just spread these points around, in all honesty. Mental points don't really do much unless you're like a certain character class. Not for me, anyways. I'm not a master of this game to begin with, so I don't really know what I'm leaning towards a lot of the time. His hit chance is already pretty good. Might not be the worst plan to start stacking crit on him and seeing if maybe we can get him to really, really, really hurt somebody every now and again. I think that's everybody, though. Good. We're all taken care of. Status, unpaid. I thought it said status legend for a second. He's legendarily unpaid. He's not been paid in so long that it is legendary. Alright, so for our leader, I think he's obviously going to have the honors of getting the master-crafted sword here. It's going to raise his damage by a huge margin. It's also going to raise his critical hit stance, so that's good. It also has a rune slot, just in case we wanted to jump into the enchanting menu. It's an enchanting menu. It's an enchanting menu. However, you have to loot nodes, I think, to find these. And so, unfortunately, I don't have any of them yet. This is not a design decision that I particularly like. I don't think you should have... You have to discover all of these, which means you have to run around just, like, looking at loot crates all day, every day. And since that's not an aspect of the game that I tend to focus on very heavily, I don't know. I just don't like it that much. I'd prefer you actually just start with them and then just do whatever you want. Customize your characters. Just make them more expensive, basically. Would be perfectly fine by me. Hit chance is fine. Everything's looking good on him. On our main character, I think it would not be the worst idea for us to give him armor proficient. So let's go ahead and drop some. It's going to take him 2 days to learn that. Okay, well, we're going to have to do it anyways. Let's try and get all of our point allocations going right now. He's not quite there with his toughness, so we can't give him... Yeah, unfortunately, we can't give him Hardy 2. Which would be badass, because that would give him 250 HP, which is just like, oh! It's a huge amount of HP. I should probably sign myself up to have more characters who are, decent at leading our party, but I haven't done it yet. Range we can bypass. We got Bullseye. It's going to take 3 days for that one. Yeah... I don't know whether it's wiser to dogpile all of my training right now, or if you want to spread it out a little bit so you can rotate people in and out of the fight. Tough call. Real tough call. Could also just give him a void, which would make him a lot better at not getting hit in the face, which would be pretty cool. It's expensive, though. And that would still take the 2 turn... No, it takes 3 days. Never mind. Thought it was going to take 2 days. It takes 3 days. It's a little disappointing. Well, how do I get you, like, more magic casty spells? Like, I want you to have more spells. Your spells suck, and I want you to have more of them. He's got to level up first, but he can take Dispel. Lightning Strike is another one that I want. Lightning Strike is super sick. And then I'd also like to get Fireball. Those would be the two that I'd like to get on him. It'll take him a bit, but until he has a couple of offensive spells, you can also go after things like, let's see, there was Chains of Chaos is on the bad guys. It's pretty good. But reduces movement by 2 meters, and it reduces your chance to make any test by 25%. Scavenger's Curse applies a debuff that makes you get hurt more from the random wordstone you pick up. Curse of Rust would be nice too when playing against teams like the Sisters of Sigmar. But anyway, there are spells that I would like him to have that would make him a lot more useful as a character. Other things that we have to equip. Oh yeah, we got that purple thingamadoobie. Didn't we? It's got an amulet right there, so go ahead and take that. Where did that purple pendant go? It must not be for any of the character classes that we have right now. That's weird. Where did our purple pendant go? We got a purple pendant for the last combat, but I don't see it. I should probably get that while it's here. Seems like the sort of thing that could make my life a little bit easier. Take the dagger as well. How very, very odd. Where did our purple thingy go? We got a purple pendant from that last mission, didn't we? Sort of makes you wonder. It's not in there. Nobody seems to have it. Odd. Really, really odd, in fact. That dagger's better than his sword, isn't it? I was going to say, it's got to be better than his sword. I'm going to go ahead and give him the dagger then, and he can just stab fools in the face for a little bit. Or no, that's Elton John. He's one of my reserve guys. I don't want him to have that. There we go. We'll give that to him. It's better than the spear he's rocking anyways. He's got the shield. Oh, it's very, very strange. That bothers me. That bothers me a lot. Alright, well. Since I don't really have a choice here, I guess we'll go back to the campaign menu. We gotta wait a little while for one of these guys to train off some of their stuff. I think it's him. Wait, who's training right now? Maybe it was our hero? You stop clicking. That's annoying. Hold on. We got menu bloat going on right now. Okay, so I got 2 days till that can happen. So we're going to have to bypass a day or two. We've got new hired swords. We have 5 days for the shipment. I'll probably send that out right now since we got 326 sitting around. I'll probably go, what do I have to send out? 162? What a weird number. I'll probably just give him the exact value. We'll send that over, and then we'll wait for our paycheck to get here before we spend any more money. And so Leonhard von Falkenberg has finally gotten the skill Armor Proficient. That means he can move a little farther in heavy armor. Means that he's not losing his movement points. Let's get back out there and see what we can do on the campaign map. Got a bunch of normal missions right now. But you know, I'd say that going in after another brutal mission, it worked out pretty well for us last time. It always depends who you're going up against, in all fairness, but this team's performing strongly. I still wish I knew what happened to that purple pendant, though. All I can think is that maybe it's only for your special character, like the big ogre, maybe? But other than that, I have no idea. It doesn't appear to be in our inventory anywhere. Mordheim. We're getting in here. Let's choose our deployment spot. So how bad is this going to be? It's going to be all over the place, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I was a little bit stressed about. I'll probably deploy to this corner and we'll try and meet up over here as best we can. Alright. Let's go ahead and put all the normies over here. And then for these guys, we'll put heroes up in here because they can move farther anyways. And I want you to be with him. Yep, hold my hand, Mr. Fingerman. Alright, so Mr. Fingerman is holding his hand. Sounds good. I might have been able to deploy them a little bit more safely and tightly, but I'm actually pretty happy with what we have going on right now. I'd like to find loot, too, if there's any around. It looks like there's some up inside that building, but it's pretty rare that I get up in there to actually take a look at a place. Within 2 to 3 turns, we should be able to regroup, which is going to be the biggest part of your strategy in Mordheim whenever you're deployed sort of out and around like this. It's disappointing, but what choice do you have? He is not facing the direction that I want him to face. I think I need him to go back this way, which will get him a lot closer to where I expect him to be by the end of this turn. And with their high movement, they should be able to get there pretty quickly. It looks like we're up against Chaos, which means we do run the chance of running into one of their champions or something like that. They have the occasional character who has a two-hander that'll deal just absurd amounts of damage, like 60 plus per swing, which is horrifying if you get yourself caught in a bad situation. You want to nullify those characters using all alone checks as best as possible. Them not getting a turn is the best thing that can happen for you. Every time your enemy misses a turn, oh, they got the morale advantage too. Well, will you look at that? They are dedicated to the cause, I guess, because they want to stab me, because they serve Tzeentch, because they want to go to one of those Slaaneshi sex romps. Slaanesh is the god of depraved, ridiculous, basically the nastiest chaos mutant hentai porno you can think of. Slaanesh is pretty gnarly. Slaaneshi workers can... I'm sorry, Slaaneshi worshippers. I guess the Slaanesh might have workers as well. I guess everybody's working, breaking sweat out on the back of their neck. But still, Slaanesh worshippers are an issue. Every time it gets to one of the Slaanesh points in the books, you're just like, oh god, it just keeps getting more sexual and gnarly. Not that I'm repressed or anything, but once they get to the point where like goatmen are like shoving their horns inside octopus beasts and things, you're like, wow, this is really getting out of control. It's not uncommon for like worshippers of chaos to grow like extra genitals on their body, like just like out of their neck and like random stuff, and so it gets all kinds of weird. Believe me when I say it's a dark and gnarly world that they live in. Weird shit happens. Weird shit happens when you worship chaos. I'm hoping that they deployed over that way somewhere, so that I don't have to worry about this right now. I would love... Well, at least we're on the same street now. That's good. We are regrouping. We're grouping and running and traveling. It's awesome and cool because we're fighting with chaos. I had to get my T-paint on. Every now and again, you gotta get your T-paint on. Don't judge me. Every now and again. Not like every day. Sometimes I go with Akon. All those other auto-tune artists. That was such a terrible, like... I really, really feel like rap has just gone downhill over the last 5 or 6 years. And I'm not one of those hipster-type people that's like, old stuff is the best. It's just, wait, you're going the wrong way. I don't need you out this way. I would love for you to be up on a roof somewhere, though. It would probably be safer for your long-term survivability. Well, there's everybody grouped up, so what kind of... Ooh. Hey. How you doing, sexy clusters? You want to be inside my pack? Oh, there's a guy over there. Well, that's not good. Sorry about that. Mine Kitty was busy, you know, raiding and pillaging and all that fun stuff. Ollie is troublesome. He is particularly one of the most difficult cats to... I think he's partially feral is the issue. His eyes are a little bit different than every other cat that I've ever had. He's got like real wild feral eyes, which I think... So when I adopted him, they didn't know who his dad was. They owned the mother who had gotten out, and I was like, well, why didn't you just spay your cat? But apparently... the mother got out. They have free spay clinics. Like, it literally takes no effort to get your cat spayed for free around here. Like, you can go to Petco or whatever on, like, any day of the week, and they'll set you up for, like, a free spaying. You should spay and neuter your animals, by the way. I don't want to sound like Bob Barker too much here, but... Anyways, they didn't know who the father was, and so I'm assuming the father must have been feral, because Ollie, sometimes he gets this look in his eye that, like, normal domesticated cats don't get. Let's move this crossbowman over here. And it is concerning. Fire! Oh, we missed, okay. It's a little bit unfortunate. Part of the reason you bring ranged guys along is so that you can maybe get 1 or 2 hits off before the enemy gets to you and get them down to like maybe half health or something like that. Unfortunately, my luck with hitting enemies has not been so great. It's okay if you can... Oh, I got ambushed. That's not good. Ow, and now I've been hit with a hammer. That's even worse. I don't want to be hit by a hammer. I am not a nail. Ha! Now you just got slashed with a sword, fool. Just went all machete on your ass. Oh, he gets a counterattack too? That's a bummer. Okay. Well, hopefully he doesn't dodge too many of our attacks. Does he get another one? Oh, good, he doesn't. And he's going to dodge that one. Okay. All right, well, all things considered, walked right into it. Walked right into it. Not off to the best start, but assuming that he's the only one around, we should be all right. Let's pick him off real fast, and then we'll decide what we want to do with everybody else. Our biggest issue right now is that everybody is so isolated from one another. Like, people are way out there, and this poor bastard over here, I haven't had the money or the time to give him his ability to have armor proficiency so that he can actually, like, run around at the same rate that everybody else can. So that's going to hamper us a little bit. Obviously, money's a little bit tight, though, and honestly, when you're training, they have to take days off, too, and I don't really have a really well-designed backup roster. Like, I don't have people, you know, on my understudy list that are going to be able to get the job done for us. So anyways, the wizard, I guess I could put him on charge, but he's going to get dodged, so that's that. These chaos guys are really, really dodgy, and it can be kind of a pain, so be careful when you fight with them. I don't know. Things are a little bit weird in the game balance right now. They patched, I think, a day or two ago, and ever since then, things are a little bit odd at the moment. I'm hoping that they'll refine that patch a little bit more. All in all, it was a good patch, but there are still, like, weird things happening right now that I think the patch sort of disrupted. So anyways, they basically, in the last patch, I think they increased the enemy's dodge by quite a lot. They made them a lot more resistant to all alone checks. That was a good crit right there. That was the good stuff. They also made it so that they're much more likely to make all their rolls, like their fear checks and whatnot. So basically, all they said is that they messed with the RNG, but I've put in about 10 hours now, and I've played about 10 hours now on the new patch, and from what I can tell, the enemy is definitely a lot more shifty and difficult to take out. It definitely made the AI a lot nastier. Specific changes I cannot give you, but I can just tell you what my observations are, which is where I've been getting dodged a lot more. They've been succeeding on their all alone. Oh no. They've been succeeding on their all alone checks a lot more. Yeah, we may have an issue here. Ooh. This is actually going to be decided by our range guys, in all honesty. If our range guys can make their shots, then we'll be alright. If they can't... Oh, we got a stun out right there? Good. Fantastic. Okay, so things might be alright. This is going to be nasty, though, because they got our melees outnumbered, which means they're going to be putting us through all alone checks. They basically ran the same strategy on me that I typically tend to run on them. You always want to focus on the person that's stunned. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but you always hit the guy who's stunned. I don't think I've ever missed somebody that's stunned, and you have a higher chance to get a critical hit. So if you've got the time, you should always kill the guy who's stunned. So that's one guy out of combat, so that we don't have to worry quite so much about 73% chance. Man, that is beautiful to look at. Let's say 73 or 78. I don't know. I'm a little bit blinded right now, but not by... Oh my god! Oh no! Holy balls. This is very, very bad. Okay, that's not good. We are officially not doing so well in this fight. Whew. My problem with the Mercenary's Mage, my big issue with him is that he doesn't really start with any useful abilities, and so you kind of just have to use him as a melee character, which I'd really prefer not to do, but you got to use him as a melee character until you can get him leveled up and get Fireball and, like, you know, Rust Armor and all that kind of stuff. There's a knife into the fray, but we're still outnumbered, and we're out-armored, and they have two-handers, which got, I think... I don't know. Two-handers seem nastier since the patch, too. I can't really talk about it, though, because they didn't give any specifics. In the patch, it just said tuned AI RNG, and that's all that it said. And since then, I've noticed that their dodges and everything seem to be a little bit more frequent. He's going to have to go into battle, so we're going to have him swap weapons, and we're just going to hope that this works out. He's going to proc Combat Savvy right there. Or pop it, sorry. We're going to get a dodge. Very, very nice. If I can just keep him parrying and dodging, we should be good. No, no parry right there. He's got a dagger, so he's gonna bypass like 20% of our parry and dodge anyways. So you kind of got to watch out for that sort of thing. He's missing of his own volition right now. You think with 78% chance we'd be hitting that a little bit more, but unfortunately, dice don't seem to be liking us very much right now. Range guys aren't making shots quite as much as I need them to be making shots. Then again, they're firing into melee combat, which is always a little bit... There we go. Okay, right when I say it. See, I should jinx it more often and just be like, they're not making the shots that they're supposed to make. Oh, really? He failed his all-alone check. Yeah, this might not turn out so great. So let's talk about losing real fast. So what happens when you lose? Bad things. When you lose, essentially it counts as though everybody has to make a wound roll in your entire group. And I've seen it go both ways. I've seen it go really, really badly where everybody gets wounded and we have multiple casualties and deaths, and I've seen it go the other way too, where unfortunately we just got trapped out on this one. I overextended myself. It's my fault. It's definitely 100% my fault, and it's... Yeah, it's going to come down to luck here. It's really... Anytime you engage in a big slugfest like this... And they've got two-handers and everything, man. This is bad. Two-handers in this game are pretty gnarly. Especially since once you level up to like max level, you can equip a two-hander and a sword and board on a parry character, and then you can have them swing twice with the two-hander, swap weapons, swing once with the one-hander, and then also still use, yeah, our main hero's down. It's probably going to be a rout. I'm not seeing a whole lot of ways that we're going to make this happen unless we just get like a big chain of stuns. It's just... Yikes. They get damage buffs now too. They increase the amount of damage they get on missions. So on hard, I think they get 5% damage boost or something like that. On brutal, they now get 45% instead of like 25%. And on deadly, they get like a 65% damage boost. They basically, in the patch that came out, they made the AI way more badass. And not like in an AI sense, like they're still pretty dumb as far as the AI goes, but just in terms of like their raw statistics, they perform outside the capabilities of what they should be performing at. They also seem to more frequently have... Oh, we got 2 hits off right there. I don't see us turning the tide in this melee, though. I mean, once he goes down, and he will, once he goes down... And we're still assuming... He failed the dodge roll right there, too. I just don't know, guys. But unfortunately, we're losing to our dice right now a little bit. I mean, part of it's that I overextended myself, and then the other half is that my rolls have just not been good this entire time. They have been sketchy. But yeah, the AI seems to have more armor lately. They hit harder. The patch did a bunch of stuff that made the single-player campaign a lot more difficult.
Round has started.
So just be aware that when you fight like a level 4 guy on a deadly mission, he's hitting like almost twice as hard, basically, 65%. He's hitting really hard. It's not twice as hard, but he's hitting really hard on top of that stacks with two-handed weapons. Because two-handed weapons, I think, get a bonus to their first swing, and then to every swing... Yep. It's just the luck train seems to have run out for us here. This might be our first loss. In fact, I'm pretty much calling it now. I think it's going to be our first loss. It's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. It's my fault, though. I should have fought a little bit smarter. My fault. Well. I got greedy. I wanted to grab that warpstone. And I shouldn't, because we have plenty of warpstone. We're perfectly fine. And so let this be a lesson to you in your playthroughs that, unfortunately... Sometimes it's easy to tunnel vision out and just go after things that you don't really need. And in that situation, another miss. And in that situation, this is what happens. So keep your eye on the prize. Fight to win first, and then fight to make money second. Getting a little bit too aggressive. A double dodge right there, yeah. Things are just not coming together for us right now. Things are not coming together. Well. Win some, lose some, I guess. Now what we got to do is we got to cross our fingers, and we really got to hope that our wound rolls are not so terrible. This guy's probably going to go down on this turn. Man, we just cannot land a hit right now, can we? We just can't seem to get that thing in there. And by in there, I mean into his body, soon to be a corpse. Whew. Played that one badly. Could have played it better. I think the combat savvy, I don't know exactly what that does, but I think that's playing into the loss too. It's making him play a little bit stronger. I don't know what it does. I assume it maybe increases combat efficiency, some kind of like extra OP that you have like during your turn or something. Maybe it increases your hit chance. I'd have to look it up in the manual and figure out what it is. Yep, there's the loss, I think, assuming we don't make our warband roll. Got a parry right there, which isn't too bad. We don't have enough offensive points to... Yeah, we failed our route test. Okay, well, there's our first loss here at the Nerd Castle. Win some, lose some. Sometimes you make it, sometimes you don't. You still get XP for losing, so it's not, you know, the sky is not falling. But things do not go well sometimes. I think I'll probably call it right here. My name is Splattercat. I will see you all in the next episode. Fortunate return right there, which is really good. I think I will see you all in the next episode. He's got a twitch, though. Alright. He lost his dueling pistols. He made a full recovery, though, so that's good. He made a fortunate return and made a full recovery. Oh, okay, we're making all of our rolls right now. So whereas our rolls sucked during that fight, our rolls seem to be recovering now. A mysterious ailment. Okay. Well, I'm going to call it. My name is Splattercat. I will see you all in the next episode. Hopefully we'll play better. Bye, everybody. I do.